What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys. Well, I apologize. I haven't had a chance to do the Land 1.5 white paper deep dive as some of you had requested, but I wanted to just cover a couple of things, and I'm still going to try and get to it, but it might end up being more piecemeal things like this as they become more and more relevant. So the first part of this is going to be the starter packages because as of now, we are expecting this within the next couple of days on Tuesday's maintenance window, March 28th, or the following week after that. And so there's been a couple of things that have changed since the starter package proposal was first put out, and then even since when I did kind of like that initial read through live stream, and there were certain things that I missed, and people have also been asking me what starter packages am I planning to get. So at this point in time, I'm only planning to get two of them. The first two, which is the building in a box, and then the time vault or the time crystals. I, at this point in time, have not seen a benefit in terms of like getting the unstable totem. I mean, again, I think the team is going to do whatever they need to do to make this worthwhile for people. But there hasn't been anything like added to it, and it seems so far away that I think for many folks, you know, spending on it now, they're probably going to shy away from. Again, that's just my guess, but it is there, it is available, and if you have the 10K DEC or DECB, you might as well just grab it because it's going to double your production rate, which is essentially a legendary totem that you'll be able to use for the first month of once lands become available to produce other resources in Phase 2. But again, that is anywhere from 6 to 9 months away, sometime in Q3 or Q4 is what the expectation is. So focusing in on the first two, again, these are the ones that I'm planning to get. Since the land proposal or the starter package proposal first came out, there was the new kind of power source that was added in with the white paper. So getting the building in a box makes the most sense now, mainly because if you're only going to get one, building in a box makes the most sense because keep in mind, once we are able to start building more buildings or building buildings actually in Land Phase 2, you will have to build one of those buildings, right? And I just look at guilds as kind of a template. It's not a perfect template because obviously guilds are owned by a bunch of people contributing to them. But for land, I would not be surprised to see if it costs 5,000 DEC. Or more importantly, it may not even cost DEC. It may cost a lot of the new resources that come out when we have Land Phase 2 available. So you might need wood or ore or stone or whatever the case is to build your building. And there's a couple of things. Obviously, it could be cheaper, right? So don't get me wrong. It could be cheaper. But if you don't have the resources right away and you want to start building, well, then you have to wait for other people to build up and get the resources and buy from them. And I think that with a massive demand early on and a low supply, it could be much more expensive. Again, this is not like a Moon Boy thing where it's going to be like, oh my God, land's going to be so profitable. Yes, I have been saying that because just anytime people rush and FOMO into something, they spike the price up. But over time, that supply and demand will equalize out. In the beginning, though, if you want to get your building built, whatever it is, right, whatever buildings we have available to us in Land Phase 2, the way I look at it now is in Land Phase 1.5, you're gonna spend 10,000 DEC or DECB now, which is only 8,000 DEC if you think about it, and even less if you buy with vouchers under, I think, 12 cents is what the pegged value is. But for that, you essentially get a free power source and then a free building. So if you value those at anything more than 8,000 DEC, it's a no-brainer. And we already know that if you survey your land with none of the starter packages, you still need to get a power source for 5,000 DEC unless you have a Rooney, right? So keep that in mind just in case. Maybe you don't want to bother with it. But even if you have a Rooney, I think one of the benefits for holding a Rooney is the fact that you can not only not need the power source, but it's probably better to buy the power source and have your Rooney be a sixth monster on the plot that then also gives 100% bonus, right? Or 2x bonus to the entire plot. Why wouldn't you want to take advantage of the fact that you can put another monster on the plot? Most plots will not be able to, right? There's only like 3,000 Roonies or something or Rooney, I should say. So to me, it's just like 5,000 DEC for the power source, which means that you're valuing the future building in Phase 2 for only 3,000 DEC. So to me, like, again, if you can pay with DEC in the future for the building in Phase 2, I think it's going to be more expensive than 3,000 DEC, and more likely you'll have to wait or use other resources. So that's why building the box is like top priority for me. This is something that I'm going to get and make sure that I have for each of my land plots. Now the second one, the time vault. This one also changed. So we know that we're going to get 150 time crystal tokens. And the initial thing with the starter package is just because they hadn't mapped everything out, the initial thought was it's going to reduce the amount of time needed, right? So if it takes 10 hours to do something, it's going to reduce it by X amount. But we came up with a whole PP system, right? Everybody's favorite. And so what the time crystals are going to do is actually reduce the amount of production points that you need, where each of these 150 time crystals can reduce a project by 10,000 PP production points. So not only that, but you can see here the time vault package will offer them as well as offer purchases 150 time crystal tokens as well as 15,000 grain tokens. So to me, this is awesome for two reasons. We already know that we're going to need to clear our plots, right? This is something that I covered in the, well, I don't know how much I covered it in the initial read through, but maybe we'll do a little bit of a deeper dive into that section. But when you first are able to use your land plots, you will need to clear them. And you cannot get any resources. You cannot harvest for grain. You cannot mine SPS. You cannot do the research for Secret of Praetoria stuff because you need to clear out your plots. And in order to do that, even a common plot is going to require 150,000, or sorry, is it 1.5 million PP? Let's see here, clearing plots. Yeah, 1.5 million PP, which again, if you don't use any of the time crystals, it's going to cost you 15,000, where is it? There we go. 15,000 grain, mainly because that's the amount of grain that your monsters are going to have to eat through in order to clear out 1.5 million PP. And in the beginning, nobody will be producing grain, or very few people will be producing grain, so we don't know what the price is going to be, but you know that you can buy it from the store, right? The Splinterlands store for I think it's one green token per DEC. So that's going to cost you 15,000 DEC right there. So buying this for 10,000 DEC is, again, another no-brainer for a different reason, right? Because these are kind of attacking different things. But what it's going to do is allow two things. You can either choose to use your time crystals right away, meaning that you clear your plot and you immediately start getting all of the benefits. Again, if you have a plot that has magical resources or whatever, it might cost more than that, right? You can see here on the clearing page, I'm going to keep going back and forth. Common plot is going to be 1.5 million PP, but other ones will be higher. But again, if I get a common plot that's occupied, I will probably be very happy with that. So it's not going to be like, oh man, I wish I could only clear out 1.5 million PP. Now I'll deal with the 9 million because that land will be much more valuable overall. But the point being is that you can choose either or, right? You can choose to use the 150 time crystals, or you can just get your workers to start without having to buy any of the grain needed. That will cost you 15,000 PP. Well, it'll cost you however much PP you need, or however much grain you need to clear out however much PP, but 15,000 grain tokens will clear out 1.5 million production points. So to me, you're getting double the value now in many ways. You're paying 10,000 DEC. Originally, that was just going to be for the 150 time crystal tokens, but now you're getting the equivalent value on top of that in grain tokens. So again, another no-brainer, especially if you can spend 8,000 DEC or less buying with DEC for DECB or vouchers for DECB. And that's why we're seeing vouchers kind of pegged around the 12-cent range right now. So ultimately, this is, to me, really exciting. I'm looking forward to Land Phase 1.5 once that goes live, or once elements of it go live. But these are the two ones that I am planning to get. I think that if you have land, they are no-brainers in many ways. But again, this is not financial advice. This is just game advice, because it allows you to get a head start on many things, both in Land Phase 1.5 as well as in Land Phase 2. And as I outlined, I feel like the value that you're getting for them, it's not that I feel like, you can see that the value that you're getting for them is significantly higher than the value that you're paying for them. Again, just with the 15,000 grain tokens, if you were to buy that off not the market, but from the store early on, that's 15,000 DEC that you can get for 8 to 10,000 DEC now. Plus the time crystal tokens, which is what the main thing is about. And then going back to the building in a box, the power source is going to be 5K. Whatever that building is going to cost, I think it's going to be more than 3K, 3 to 5K, right, to make up that 10,000 DEC. So ultimately, these are no-brainers for me. I am going to avoid the unstable totem for now. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get it, because I do believe, and if I had the resources, I do believe if I had the resources, I would get it. But I do believe that the team may amend this in the future once they have a better idea of what the what phase 2 is going to look like. They may amend this to give more value to people who bought in on the unstable totem. So again, there's no guarantee of that, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if they found ways to reward the people who took a chance buying in on one of the starter packages for a project that wasn't going to launch, or a phase of land that wasn't going to launch for 6 to 9 months out. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you going for 1, 2, or all 3 of these? Are you avoiding them? What is your game plan? We can continue the conversation there. I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.